Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment. A bit of a deflated look on our faces right now. We've just signed Tellez, which I'm happy about. I think he's going to be a decent signing, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But first, let me introduce the girls. Emma, how are you doing?
I'm not bad. I've calmed down since yesterday. I don't know if I'm looking hopeful. I don't know how to feel right now, but I'm not as bad as yesterday, so all good.
Could it be as bad as yesterday? I'm not quite sure. I don't know. But Meg, how are you doing this evening?
Like, I'm smiling on the outside, but inside I'm being a bit like, I've just said to the girl, the amount of times I've done this over the past two days. That's how I feel. Like, no words. I'm just like, but no, I'm all right. I'm not brilliant. I am all right.
Well, transfer deadline day.
We sound really happy, don't we, girls?
Yeah. You know, this is just the mood.
Hi, everyone.
So the mood across the board at the minute, isn't it? I mean, we're going to get into obviously what happened yesterday and whatnot, but Teller's just been announced. I want to discuss what your thoughts are on his signing, and of course Cavani shortly to be announced as well. I mean, I'll start firstly with you, Emma. Cavani and Teller's coming in. Are you happy with those deals?
I mean, I'm happy that we've got some signings. Left back, we need to strengthen there anyway. Does Teller strengthen that position? I think he does. He's great at going forward. I've seen people tweet that he's on par with Shaw, but with Shaw's performance yesterday, out of position all of the time, I don't think we can do any worse in that position right now. Cavani, I think, we need that predator in the box. That's what we are missing. We're missing that predator that will score those goals. And he's great with his head as well. Something that we are missing is scoring goals with our head. So yeah, I'm happy with those signings, but priority for me is a centre back. That's where we should be looking, really.
I mean, after that yesterday, even more so, I imagine, Emma. I mean, shambolic performance, but we're going to talk to a centre back in Meg. I mean, Teller's coming in, Cavani coming in. Are you happy with that? And also, do you agree with Emma on the centre back?
It's not the transfer window I had in my head about 7 weeks ago, is it? Nobody thought this is what we end up with. I think the fact that Sancho has still not been signed, we had him in the palm of our hands and we let that just go. And I think that's terrible. I think for Sancho, he is one of the most up and coming footballers. If he's already there, isn't he, really? But he's young. He kind of fitted the mould of Manchester United and we never got that across the line. And I think that was poor for Manchester United. The fact that we just let that go. And then, yeah, it's a completely different window to what we all had in mind. And it's not the players that we thought we were going to get. Do I know much about Tellez? Probably not as much as other people. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do. But we've always spoke about having healthy competition. The left back yesterday, the positioning. I mean, in my team, we didn't have a game on Sunday and we had a classroom session about positioning and we spoke about defensive position. And we talked about the being too narrow, and Luke Shaw at times was very, very narrow and just did not cope well with where his starting positions were. And then Cavani, Sophie and I said this the other day. I said, when you bring a player in, and I kind of compared it to when we brought Ibrahimovic in, and I said he's not the same. I am going to change my mind a little bit on that. I do think that bringing someone like that is good for us. We need somebody like that. We need somebody who knows where the goal is. He knows where the goal is. You can't fault him for that. He's scored goals. He is all right. He's more than all right. He is good. Is he the person that I thought we'd have? No. Am I going to support him at the club? Yes.
Yeah, of course. That's it. He's going to be a red. He is a red officially, apparently. So we're going to support him. But I'm just at a loose end.
Oh, sorry. I'm not. Sorry. He's not my number 7, though.
No.
I was just about to say, I'm at a loose end because obviously we're getting a striker in, as Emma mentioned. He's a goal scorer. If he stays fit, he could definitely add goals into our side. And we need competition for Martial. But I'm hearing he's going to be the next number 7. Now, for me, that is Woodward trying to pull this off, put a positive spin on this, trying to make it this is a big, ideal signing. Emma, how did you feel when you saw that news broke?
Well, actually, I was in work and my boss told me, and I was just like, you're joking. Like, he's not our number 7. He is not a big signing for us. Yes, he will make a good signing for us because, like I said, he's a predator in the box, but he's not a number 7 for us. Sancho was basically our number 7. And the fact that Edward just wants to cover over the cracks and give him a number 7 to be like, oh yeah, this is our big signing. If he's our big signing, I am disappointed.
Disappointed is a key word. I mean, Meg, you said he's not your number 7. Why would we even think about giving him number 7 though? Why would Woodford feel that's the right thing to do?
Because I think we have this legacy of number 7 at Manchester United, and I think the build up and the excitement for number 7, it's a huge shirt for Manchester United. There have been amazing players to have had that shirt, and we don't give it often. We don't give it out often. And I think what they're trying to do is, we've got a number 7. They want to drive shirt sales, in my opinion. Not happening for me. He is not a number 7. Cavani for me is that player, that target player up front. And whilst Martial's now been banned for God knows how long, I can't deal with that yesterday at all. I think it's absolutely shocking. Now I know we will speak about the game, but that rattled me. My hands up. Look how that rattled me. I can't talk about it. He's not a number 7. Cavani is not a number 7.
I don't know if I'm wrong in thinking this, but I'm pretty sure for Uruguay he has one number 7. But we're talking about Manchester United's number 7. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, it's not Manchester United number 7
as well. No, it's a historic number. I think Carl just put in the chat, give it back to Beckham. Bring Beckham back and give him the number 7. That would look a lot better than
he'd
Cavani.
Walk into our team.
Right now, I think me and you would, after that yesterday, genuinely. Shocking,
I'm in. I'm centre half. I'm in.
Alex says, I am fuming. Woodward and the board have not backed Ollie whilst other clubs have backed their managers. And this has happened off the back of yesterday. Alex, thank you for the super chat. I think we're all livid. We're all fuming. I feel like I can't celebrate the signings we're making at the moment. And I do genuinely think Tellez is a good signing. I just don't feel in the mood to celebrate it at the minute. But we'll discuss yesterday's performance, because I've seen a lot of talk today. It's been about the transfers and not actually what we witnessed on the pitch yesterday. Meg, I'll let you start us.
Sorry, just on that, backing your manager.
Yeah.
I know everyone's going on about Everton at the moment, but if you look at Everton and the way that their board have not only backed the men's team, I don't know if a lot of people know about the Everton women's team this year, unbeaten so far. They're right up there. You've got the men's team sat top of the table, and you've got the women's team sat, I think they're first and second. They have backed, their board have gone out, they've bought players in the women's team as well. That's how you do it. That is how, as a board, as owners, you invest in your team. Invest in we're the business, aren't we? The actual teams are the business for the owners. They have invested in their own business, and they're reaping the rewards right now for it.
Yeah, I agree. And another one, Arsenal obviously apparently will announce Partey soon. He's on his way to London. So, for me, that rubs salt into the wounds as a United fan. That's their target. That's their main target, and they're going to get him on transfer deadline day. I'm just hoping that the only way that we can ever banter Arsenal now is if we end up with Sancho before this ends, which is obviously very unlikely, because that's us getting our main target. But at the moment, we're just left scrounging around and left panicking, and that's what it feels like. We're absolutely panicking. There's no statement, no strategy from the board, no plan, and it's just a mess from top to bottom. But we'll talk about it on the pitch for a second, because I feel like we need to address it. That performance yesterday is probably the worst performance I've seen in the United shirt. Yes, the red card changed the game. Yes, Lamela should have had the same punishment, or it should have been a yellow each. I agree with that. But prior to that point, Spurs could have been 5 or 6 up already. Like, people are missing that. People are trying to blame it on the referee and the red card, but I'm sorry, this has been coming probably since the Southampton game at the end of last season. We've scraped results. We beat Brighton after full time. We could have easily been on 0 points this season. Like, I think we've been scraping, we've been papering over the cracks, if you like, but the performances haven't been good enough. And that yesterday, I felt it's been coming for a long time. Meg, what's your take on that?
It was poor from top to bottom. It was just shambolic. The defending was useless. After the first 30 seconds, I thought, here we go. This is going to be a good game. I was all for it. I was positive. After 2 minutes, I thought, bloody hell, we're letting back in. The sending off, I will talk about it, because I just cannot, for the life of me, fathom why he got sent off at all. If you're going to send him off, the fact that Lamela left his elbow in his neck, that's a sending off. But for me, I'm sorry, but if Lamela goes down that easily, I feel sorry for him if he gets bloody COVID-19. Jesus Christ.
The play acting was ridiculous. Come on.
He tapped him on his nose. Well, not on his chin. Get a grip. Honestly, I'm blown away that a grown man has thrown himself on the floor for somebody tapping him on his chin. But I think it should have just been a yellow for both of them. Sort yourselves out, boys. Get back in the box. Get the corner taken. Done. Dealt with. This was just ridiculous.
Like Van Gaal on the sideline against Arsenal. He went down like Van Gaal did. You remember that when Van Gaal dived on the sideline? That's what he went down like.
I remember.
But it could have been more. Son went through 1-on-1 and scuffed it for us, thankfully. But I just honestly, if I could sit here and dissect the whole game, we'd be here all night. But just poor, top to bottom. The players looked like they were broken. They didn't have a clue what they were doing. At one point, I think Spurs had a free kick and we were stood on the edge of the 18-yard box. And the camera kind of went into the faces of the United players. And honestly, we'd lost the game. We were losing anyway, but we'd lost the game. There's no way we were getting back in it. We just looked broken men on that pitch.
Yeah, I think. Dennis, thank you for the super chat. He says, I can't convince my girlfriend to watch United games with me and we continue to play so poorly. We were saying just our households when we were watching it. Emma's, there was a lot of tension. She was saying she'd get angry at Carl and whatnot. For me, it was just silence, like eerie silence. I didn't know what to say about it. I was just gobsmacked by the whole thing, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, I get the anger towards the ref. You mentioned Lamela and what happened there. But for me, we every time Spurs counter-attack to us, we look like we're going to concede. Son was just a nightmare throughout. Son is a class player, in my opinion. He really is. But our defence just got shown up yesterday. Doug has just messaged saying, is it time for Maguire to be dropped? And that's a question I'm going to throw to you two. And I'll start with you, Emma, on that one. Do you think it's time that he should be dropped now?
Yeah, I've always backed Maguire, but you know what? He's had poor performances. Enough with the excuses for him now. He needs to be dropped. I don't care he's captain. I don't care about how much he bloody costs. He needs to be dropped because this is the thing as well. He knows that he's not going to be dropped by Ollie. So hasn't got that fight. He hasn't got that competition with anyone else. For me, we need two centre-backs. We don't just need one, we need two. Because I am sick to death of our back line being so bloody poor. So for me, Maguire dropped 100%.
Stern words there, Meg. Do you agree with Emma?
I agree. I don't think the players that played yesterday, that they need to show why they deserve to be picked again. Because right now, they're all fighting for a position. Not just Maguire, they're all fighting for a position because they were just, if you want to play like that, you don't automatically get a place in the starting 11 at all. At all. Maguire, he's not a scapegoat. It's easy because he has been playing poorly to put it on him as well. But everyone on that pitch yesterday, I don't look at one of them and think, you played well. No, you all played shit. You all were shit.
Right, I'm going to try and say this. Kanakuainen. I'm having a go. Thank you for the super chat. It says, people were calling out for Maguire and Boyer partnership. That didn't work out, did it? Frustrated that we made one step forward and 2 steps back. I wanted Boyer to start. But at the same time, I've said that Maguire needs to prove himself. And at the start of this season, he hasn't. He's been poor, really poor again yesterday. I mean, that head, he was trying to head it back to De Gea, wasn't he? Got it totally wrong. And Boy, we mentioned defensively we were shocking, but Boy is including that definitely. Gus, thank you for the super chat.
Saying that, Boy, he's the only one at the back line that threw his whole body into blocking shots.
Yeah, there was one phase, wasn't there?
He won the header off the corner. 3 of them.
Yeah. He won the header from the corner, blocked the second one, and then blocked the third one, didn't he? Immediately after. You always get that with Boy, though.
I have to say that's what you get with him. I think that's why.
Yeah,
I've talked about the liking him to Vidic and Ferdinand because they are kind of the players that will throw themselves at the ball. Not always the greatest option. Sometimes you need to stay up a little bit. But when you're in the box and you're defending, you want a player that will throw himself at the ball.
Yeah.
He did do that yesterday. I mean, it could have gone anywhere. Let's face it. He could have hit him and gone in, but fortunately for him, it went out for a corner. But I do like that about his game.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Gus, thank you for the super chat. Says Maguire needs stripping of his captaincy in his opinion. A lot of talk that Bruno was brought off. I mean, that's why I said Ollie deserves some blame for yesterday. Taking Bruno off, I was mystified at that because I genuinely felt that, especially before the red card, going forwards we looked pretty good. But going in forwards, we had some little tippy tap football around the edge of the area. We looked quite sharp. Defensively, we've already explained we were shocking. But apparently Bruno said something to Maguire at halftime, and it is all rumours. I don't know how true this is, but apparently he kicked off, said that he's not fit to wear the jersey and whatnot. Hence why he didn't come out for the second half. If that is true, I'm sorry, but for me, Bruno is more the leader. We've already said this, but that clarifies it for me. Bruno is the real leader in the dressing room. Would you agree with that, Emma?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I did always say that we couldn't strip Maguire of his captaincy. Bruno hasn't been here that long, but it's clear to see lately that Bruno's got that passion. Maguire doesn't demand his back line, where Bruno will demand things from players. Like we've seen with that penalty, we had Pogba and we had other players going in, and Maguire's just stood with his hands on a hip at the back. Like your captain should be in there. Like he's not doing that, and Bruno's showing more captaincy material than him. So for me, Bruno definitely should have it right now.
I'm going to defend Maguire on that one. I reckon he was on his way over to argue, but he's that slow by the time he got there. Martial had already gone off the pitch. He was just that slow.
No, I've seen them pictures as well online, and I think, you know, with like Keane was literally in the ref's face. Bilic got sent off the other day at half time. Didn't even like swear, didn't shout at the ref, got sent off. I genuinely feel you can't do that now. If a captain did that, he'd be off as well. And I don't know if that's playing on and I'm not like finding excuses, but I do feel like you can't do that. And I feel like if he had done it and then had got carded or sent off as well, Lord help him, because the amount of people that had been on his back. And secondly, on the Bruno thing, girls, I feel like I'm going to go against the grain a little bit here and say I think there's a time and a place to say certain things. And when you've got 10 men, you're losing. What was it at half time? I can't even remember how many goals. The fact that they were just defeated at half time, I do feel like there's a time and a place for it. And I feel like although it needs to be said at times, saying it at half time in the middle of that game, for me, it's not bang out of order, because if that's how you are as a person and a player, then that's fine. But that needed to have not been said. Or if that is true, I think perhaps just understanding when to do it at the end of a game, fair enough. Not in the middle of it when you've still got 45 minutes to go and play and try and rescue something.
Yeah. Alex, thank you again for the super chat. Says yesterday was the most embarrassed I felt as a Manchester United fan, and it was a shambles. Maguire, Pogba, and Shaw were awful, and our players threw Natel. I agree with everything you've said there. I don't think it was just them three that were awful, but I agree with the Natel comment. What I will say though is Pogba, after he conceded that penalty, what I didn't like was how he was laughing. He was almost trying. He was trying to complain about it was a blatant penalty. I don't think you can get any more blatant than that. But he was laughing, and I don't know if it's just because I felt so frustrated, but that really pissed me off yesterday. Seeing him laughing after the performances he's been putting in last few games as well. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I was just hot-headed, angry at what I'd witnessed, because obviously that was getting on in the game, but that really annoyed me. I mean, Meg, did you see him doing that?
Yeah, I don't agree. Like, I feel like, you know, we've said it before that the type of people that like laugh in the wrong situation. Yeah. So Sophie's one of them.
Yeah,
Sophie is one of them. But don't laugh when you're that far down and you're that broken, and you can. Obviously, there's no fans in the stadium, but they'll know what's coming their way after the game. And yet he stood there laughing. Same with Klopp, and I'll dig Klopp out of this. Dig Klopp out for this as well at Liverpool. Villa scored their 7th, and Klopp was on the sideline laughing, smiling.
So arrogance, isn't it? It's an arrogance thing.
Your team just got conceded 7, and you're stood there smiling. Yeah. If I was playing football and my manager was smiling as I conceded the 7th, well, what hope have you got? Maybe I'll all give up.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying it's Pogba's fault that we lost. I'm not saying that at all. Pogba hasn't played well last few games, and I do think it's a case where maybe he should be dropped. And then, obviously he was off Corona and whatnot. It might be a fitness thing with Pogba, and I'm not saying that at all, but I'm just saying that. above everything else just really pissed me off yesterday. But Beats Box Stray Beats, that's a really hard name to read, but I got it right, I think. Thank you for the super chat. He said, Ollie is an awful manager, but not the root cause of the problems at this club. Mourinho stuck it to Woodward yesterday. And I remember Saka, Shaw, Maguire, all average. I completely agree with that. Emma, what's your take on yesterday, Jose Mourinho? Did he do a job on Ollie? I think that's a stupid question, isn't it? But he must have been buzzing.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? He must have been like, inside, he must have been laughing his head off, because I know I would have been if I was him. You know, you couldn't help it. They absolutely destroyed us yesterday. Like you said about the players that were all rubbish. The only player that I thought that looked good to start with was Greenwood, and then suddenly, because he's seen all the other players like getting deflated and giving up, he kind of went that way as well. And it just shows that the other players have that influence on such a young player like Greenwood. When he was beginning to fight, he's trying to look good, but then he's seen all his teammates around him just looking deflated. They wasn't trying, half-hearted performances. It made Greenwood just like sit back and be like, "What's the point? We'll just concede another. It just pissed me off yesterday.
Like I said, the red card did affect it, because I do genuinely feel like we were still in the game up until that point. Yes, defensively we were abysmal, but going forwards, I actually thought we looked half decent, and it took away that attacking element. We were just boxed in after that. But someone mentioned it earlier about throwing the tail in. It seemed like we just downed tools. We couldn't be bothered. That was it. We gave up, and that's not something I like to see in my side. Matthew McFadden says, Tellers is one of the best left backs in the world, but look how little we care. It's sad, isn't it? It's sad that he's right. The Sancho saga, the way that it's ending, it seems to be ending, the way it's been dragged out anyway up until this day, when it's been obvious it's been our target for however long. Dortmund gave us the price and we just didn't pay it. It leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, doesn't it? I'm happy with Tellez coming in. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited for the competition for sure. I mean, I mentioned this to Emma off camera as well. Could it be a case where we play three central defenders, Luke Shaw being the left of the three, and then Tellez playing the left wing back? Because that's something that obviously he would be comfortable doing. We've seen Shaw in that left centre-back role before as well, and to be fair, he's played decently well there. But my concern with that, as I said to you, Emma, is Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side, for me, isn't good enough as a wing-back. He doesn't offer us enough, and I think we'd be completely imbalanced. But
yeah,
Meg, Tellez, do you think he'll immediately come in and bypass Luke Shaw for that, or do you think there is a case where we could fit them both in, or shall we just wait and see?
I think it's just a case of waiting and seeing, because of the international break. I don't think it's like players are going to go off now. Players are going to stay at United and train. So I think it's difficult to know what your team's going to be, and like whether they just come in. Like now that the break and stuff like that, I think it's difficult to know what will come of it. To talk about the Sancho saga ending in disappointment, I think it's disappointing because at the start of the transfer window, it was very obvious that Manchester United needed a centre-back, and it was very obvious that we were heading for a right wing. We've signed a left-back and, for me, a central target man as a centre-forward.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite add up in terms of what we needed and what we've got.
It boils down to not having a football person above, doesn't it? It boils down to someone not actually understanding, like, we haven't prioritised anything that we've gone for. Sancho is a generational talent, but we think of the money as usual. Cavani is a glamorous name that's going to sell shirts, as we mentioned. So we're bringing him in, even though there's been a free transfer for as long as I can remember. He was literally about to not have a club, I believe. So we've obviously settled and agreed to pay his wages. Like, why do you think we're the team who've done that? For me, it's just everything's just a shambles. Adam, thank you so much for the super chat. Evening, Sophie, Megan, and Ems. Great show as always. I think Bruno did right. We haven't had a fighter in that team since Kino. We're lacking that character, definitely. We really are. But I want to talk about the Sancho saga a little bit. Obviously, Mark, bless him, said 90%. All of us are fans about the whole.
90%,
even though we weren't openly about our confidence, every United fan genuinely had a secret niggle that we were going to get Sancho. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. We could possibly end up with Dembele, but we're going to have him on loan and pay his wages, his salary, from what I've read. I don't want these, someone said they're mercenaries in the club. I don't want to play a Dembele. Yes, he's very talented on his day when he's fit, but how often are we going to see him fit? Also, he brings in a questionable bad attitude, which is going to unsettle the dressing room even more. For me, I'm just unsure on the whole situation. I mean, Meg, would you be happy if we had Dembele, and bear in mind Sancho looks like it's not going to happen?
yeah, I would be happy in terms of we've got another player that is good and it plays in that position that we've been asking for. But I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be over happy about it because I wanted Sancho. And we pretty much had Sancho. Everything was done. We just had to pay it. Everything was sorted. He was ready to come to United. He's ready to leave Borussia Dortmund. We wanted him. Match made in heaven. No. Like, why could we not just pay the money? I don't understand why we haven't paid the money for him and yet now we're spending money for other players. Why has that not worked?
Emma, what's your thoughts on the Dembele rumours?
I mean, Carl's probably laughing at me. A very unpopular opinion, but I actually really like Dembele. I really do. I do rate him as a player. I think he's fantastic. Carl's huffing at me because we have arguments about this all the time. I'm not happy that he's instead of Sancho. I'm not happy about that. But Dembele is a player. I know he's injury prone, guys, before you start hating on me. I know he is. But he has got some class talent. And, maybe coming to United, he could do wonders for us. I'm just trying to be that optimistic person here.
My concern with it is that it's 3.5 hours till the thing ends, and he's going to have a medical at some point in between that. Surely we're not buying him without a medical.
Dembele, of all people, will probably get injured in the medical, mate.
That's what I mean. Like, if you're having a medical, he's the one that needs it. Like, out of all the players that we signed, let's test him. Let's make sure that he's actually okay.
Yeah. Nice choice, so if I can help you girls out, is Kanakuanen. That's really hard. Just love the Finnish name. So it's Finnish. Okay. But Dembele, for me, Emma, I agree with you. He's talented. You don't stumble upon by what Dortmund and then Barcelona get linked with top clubs. Like, he's obviously talented. I'm not disputing that. And I think if he's fit, it could be a great signing for us. Of course he could, but it just seems a massive risk for me. And the money that he's going to be on as well, it's just a big risk. And I think we were also set on Sancho and stuff. It just feels, like I say, a bitter taste in the mouth, isn't it, with Dembele? I mean, there's Carl, looks like he's not a fan of Dembele.
Shut up,
Dembele. Grandad 33, Dembele is a right forward. We play 4-2-3-1, so another player playing out of position. That is my other concern. Does he even fit into the system that we want to play? Is he an Ollie style of player? There's just so many risks involved with this. It just seems like a panic move for me. It doesn't seem like a 4-8-1. It just seems like we haven't got our first target and we're just panicking and getting who we can get. We've also been linked with Sarr from Watford. I mean, Meg, what's your thoughts on the Sarr rumours? That face again.
We're just like going down the list. Like, everyone's just like, no, we're going to be on like choice 26 at the end, aren't we? Like, surely you thinking Sarr. I mean, great move for Sarr because it's at Watford and he'd come to Manchester United. But surely we are looking at players are looking and thinking, well, they wanted Sancho and they haven't got him. They wanted that next person, Dembele, they haven't got him. They wanted somebody else, we haven't got him. Oh, now it's my turn.
Yeah.
Like, we're on like 4th, 5th, 6th choice. Like,
yeah.
That's not how we roll. I hate that. I nearly said it. We're Manchester United. But we are Manchester United. We shouldn't be on our 6th choice. We should be saying to clubs, we want this player. Here's the money. Let's go and get it.
Do you think it's like commercial as well? We mentioned Cavani being a big glamorous name coming in. Do you reckon it's a similar thing with Dembele as well? He's still another big name, but obviously not Sancho coming in. He's another big name. It's going to sell shirts. It's going to get people excited. He's coming from Barcelona. Do you know what I mean? But I've said this before.
Sancho would sell more shirts. Sancho would be the one.
But what I
if
mean
you want
is
someone to sell
Sarr or Dembele, people would say, "Oh, go for Dembele." Do you know what I mean? I said Sancho not coming. That's what you're looking at. But I agree with this one. Panic buys. It strikes me the whole thing is a panic buy. We're just panicking in the market now. We just haven't got football minds above. We just have not got football minds above, and I think it always boils down to that. Alexis Sanchez was another example. He was obviously on the decline. Paying stupid money for him to come to the club to walk his dog, so we know how frustrated we've got that. And it's just, I don't want another situation like that. If Dembele comes in, a player who's going to be on mad wages, but we barely see him even playing because he's injured all the time. Do you know? And that's the worry that I have. I have said if it does happen, I'd rather it be a loan deal because at least then you're not tied with it. But I was talking to Flex just on a United Stand about the Sancho situation. If we obviously doesn't look like we're going to get him in this window, there's rumours that obviously next window we'll go in for him. But for me, that boils down on whether we get Champions League or not. And at this moment in time, we have to hand on heart say, do we look like we're going to get Champions League? No. We do not. But Sancho, there's rumours that next season he could be going to Liverpool. Imagine if that happens after the window we've just had.
If we don't sign him this window, I don't think we'll sign him at all. I think that's
That's
your chance dead. That's your chance dead and gone.
Yeah,
I said this in the last video. Literally everything was matched up. He wanted to leave. He wanted to come to Manchester United. Manchester United needed him. We'd got Champions League. Everything. Price was higher than we wanted, but let's face it, it's not overly. It's not much higher than we were willing to pay. I know, millions we're talking, so it's a lot of money to me, but it's not a lot of money in terms of footballing, is it? A couple of million is like a change in the back pocket. But you think about the next, even in January or the transfer window after that. Other teams will want him. Price can skyrocket if he's actually going to play well. And have we got Champions League football by the end of this season? You see him playing, partying with Abraham and Chilwell at the weekend.
Yeah. Oh,
That's happening up.
And Sancho as well. You have to think Barcelona, most likely Messi's going to leave next summer. He's probably going to go to Man City. That leaves Messi's spot open as the top dog at Barcelona as well. Plays in a similar position to Sancho. Telling me he's not going to be tempted by Barcelona if they come in for him. Like, I just fear that if we miss out on Sancho now, that's it. We miss out on him regardless. Like, that's it. That's that chance done. And I feel like it's going to come back to bite us, as we've seen in the transfer windows before. We've been bitten, and I feel like this could happen again. And I hope I'm wrong. Of course, I hope I'm wrong, but it's just so infuriating. And I've just read as well from Fabrizio, Arsenal have just triggered Thomas Partey's release clause. I'm not being funny. I think Thomas Partey is a player that we could have done with.
He's quality.
I can see you saying there. He's quality.
He's absolutely quality, and it's just sickening. It's just sickening to read, isn't it, girls? Like, I don't know how.
So infuriating. B70, Adam B72, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Isn't Sancho a Chelsea fan?" He is. Yeah, that's another place where he could possibly go, with the likes of Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, the ones who have just signed in this window, by the way, where we're meant to be competing. It's just embarrassing. But yeah, I have heard he's a Chelsea fan. I think he was with Tammy Abraham, wasn't he? And who else was he with at that party?
Chilwell.
Chilwell. So yeah, he obviously has got links with Chelsea, but I feel that if we miss out on him now, when we had a great chance, they literally gave us the price to pay and we haven't paid it. I feel like that's it. That's a chance gone with him. Doug, make sure you go subscribe to the Doug Gates Football channel as well. Good evening, ladies. Only chance I can see Sancho going to Liverpool is if Salah leaves. I can't see him being a bench warmer at Liverpool. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think Chelsea, if he comes to England and goes to a different club, I think Chelsea definitely in with a good shape. Being a boyhood Chelsea fan. But Stan says, "Come on, girls, don't be so bitter." Stan, honestly, I am so bitter right now.
Hold the hands up, I'm bitter.
Of course, we're all bitter. I'm bitter with anything right now. Party time for Arsenal. There you go, definitely. John Terry was a United fan. Carragher was an Everton fan. Same with Gerrard. I don't hold much weight until he grew up. Yeah, I agree. Just because he supports them doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go there. Barcelona are the ones that I'm worried about, to be honest, because Messi going. Sancho obviously being a generational talent. Perfect for him. It would be perfect.
And I think he's not scared to play abroad, is he? Like, he's gone and done it. He was
of course.
We don't see a lot of English players do go and play abroad, and I think he started that kind of trend at the moment to go and get some time abroad. And I think, look, if Barcelona come in for you, it's one of them. Is it Max Aaron's in Norwich? He must be gutted. Playing for Norwich or play for Barcelona?
Yeah.
I'd love to play in that green and yellow kit all the time. Shane, thank you for the super chat. My heart has been ripped out my chest. I love this club, but I don't feel any love coming back. This club will send us all into depression. I already feel like I'm in that stage of depression, to be honest. And I remember constantly saying, do you not get sucked into the transfers? It does drag you down. It happens every year. We've all got sucked in. I've got sucked in. All of us have got dragged down. It's just horrible situation. It's horrible. It's going to end.
Shane needs to head over to just drop this in the Manchester United women's team account, because there are 3 goals that you can go and watch, debuts left, right, and centre, and some quality football. So if you are a little bit depressed, head over to their account, because they're doing all right. I
did watch against Brighton the other day. Played well. New signings came on as well and looked amazing. But yeah, played really well. Ever since Thiago in 13, I've learned never to get immersed in these transfer rumours. Yep. When one drags out for months, it's not happening guaranteed. It's just not healthy, is it, to keep going over it as well. But it's so hard not to, because like I say, I felt like the way that the season ended for us, the pandemic, the player of Bruno coming in and lifting the club so much, I felt so positive going into the season. I felt like we were going to get some big names in. We were going to take advantage of the pandemic and actually use it to our advantage. And some players, Sancho being a main one. And to end it like this, Upamecano was another one that was mentioned. Yeah, to end it like this and end up with Cavani, a player who, let's face it, he was without a club and we took him on massive wages. He was a goal scorer, but has he still got the legs? That's yet to see. It's a risk. It's just, I mean, we've signed Amad Traore. I'm still convinced they asked for Adama and we ended up with Amad. But look, I'll be lying if I sat here and said I know everything about him. I don't. But I hear he's a wonder kid. He's a very exciting talent. We get him in January, I believe. But what's your thoughts on the Amad Traore signing? I saw someone compare it to Martial. I think it was Matthew McFadden said he compares it to that signing where we've signed a youngster, fairly unknown for a lot of money, very talented. I'm hoping that it proves out to be a successful one. But like I said, I do not know much about him. But I like the idea of signing someone for the future. But if we're realistic, we need someone right now.
Just to jump in, sorry, if Doug or someone's in the chat, can you just get rid of this Anashul Pandey? Don't be sending death threats in the chat, please. Thank you.
No death threats.
Right.
That's the last thing we need.
Get on that, please. I don't know where he's gone, so he should be in the chat.
I think they are removing it. Sorry, carry on, girls. I was just trying to catch up.
It's all right, no worries. But I was saying about Traore, we're signing him, he comes in January, but we need someone now, don't we? I like the fact that we're looking at the future and whatnot, but we need players right now.
I agree. Like when I first seen it, I got, like I said to you earlier, I got excited. I think, oh my God, we've got Adama from Wolves. Like I was like, whoa, like that's great. He's built. And then this is in a group chat as well. They were laughing at me and they were like, are you sure you're thinking of the same person? I misread the name and then I got a bit deflated. But then I went and read some tweets, what people were saying about him. And they said like, you know, he's compared to the next Messi, Ronaldo. Apparently he's such a really good talent. I don't know anything about him. Just going off what I've read, that he's a very, very good player. Get that, 100%. Then, you know, we're all about our young players. But like Soph said, we need players now. No good in January. What are we going to do now? We're screaming out for players. We're screaming out for squad depth. Why are we not doing it now? I know it's something to do with his work permit or something. But then if it's something to do with that, then why did we not go in for him weeks ago?
Yeah. This is the kind of signing I'd be interested in as well. Lamptey from Brighton. He has looked awesome for the start of the season, towards the end of last season as well. That's if our eyes aren't on him, then I don't know what's going on, because he's stood out. He's looked fantastic, and that's the kind of signing I'll be interested in as well. Stan says Van der Beek is a fantastic signing. I was very bitter when I heard you snapped him up. I do like Van der Beek, and I think he looks quality. I was just about to say, but it just underlines the lack of football brain we have because we're making signings that aren't a priority. Yes, Van der Beek looks a very good player. But what's the point in signing him to sit on the bench like Mega's just said? If you can't fit him in and we haven't got a system to fit him in with, yes, I know we need competition and whatnot, but right now we're struggling to get the quality on the pitch. And there's no clear plan. When you're signing players, we should be thinking, yeah, he's for this position, he's for this position. And at the moment, we're just signing names like plucked from thin air. It doesn't feel like there's a plan behind the signings. Van der Beek, like I say, I think he's very talented. I don't think he looks sharp and I like the look of him, but where realistically is he fitting in? Personally, I'd like to see him play instead of Pogba.
Yeah, I would as well.
For a bit. But will that happen? I don't know. Can you see Ollie dropping Pogba for Van der Beek next game?
I think it's going to have to, something's going to have to change. And I don't understand why you've got him just sat on the bench. Like I said, with the international break, it's difficult to know what the team will be next time we come round to play. But you've got to give him an opportunity. If he doesn't get an opportunity now, why the fuck do we buy him? Honestly, right now, you're looking at the players and stuff like that. If you don't get an opportunity now when we've been playing like that, then when do you get your opportunity?
It's true.
I agree.
It's like when Liverpool signed Robertson from Hull. He was at the stage where you said Lamptey's at there, where he was young. He was just coming through and he had a few performances where he stood out and he looked really good. And Liverpool obviously have scouted him from that point and signed him. That's what we should be doing there with the likes of Lamptey, in my opinion. That's what we should be doing. That's the kind of profile. But we don't do that. We haven't got football brain people in the background. We haven't got that at all. Beatbox straight beats at least Fergie got hit for 6-2. Still got Jonah and Lindsay to come back. But serious Poch is available. Thoughts on him, top manager. I mean, I've never sat here and said Ollie out, and I got so wound up yesterday on the United standard. I was close to saying it, but I didn't because I don't think it's all Ollie's fault. However, I do think tactically he deserves to be criticised at times. Like I said, that substitution yesterday I didn't get as well. I agree with all that, but what's your thoughts on Pochettino? If Ollie gets sacked, which for me, and I'm not saying I want this to happen, but it's not, the feeling isn't good right now, is it? With the way that he hasn't been backed, the way that we're playing right now, we have to face reality. It could be that Ollie's time is ticking, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but I think we have to look at the way that the club is right now, the way that we are playing. Is Pochettino the guy that you'd be looking at to replace him? Go on, Meg, you can start.
I think he's a top class manager. I think he took Spurs to great levels to where they were at, and with what he had at Spurs. Bear in mind, he didn't buy anybody. He was like hands tied behind his back because of the money and they spent on the stadium and stuff like that. And I think he couldn't really, I mean, obviously he had the opportunity to win the Champions League, but I don't, and the Premier League at times. He was in the race for the title a couple of times. But what else could he have done with them? You know, he didn't have the opportunity to then put more influence on the squad because of the finances there. Of course, but he's won nothing. He didn't win anything, and I think you go with the mentality that Ollie's not won anything and he's not had that experience, etc., like that. Well, Pochettino's had the experience, but he's not won anything either. So you're going from one manager to another that hasn't won anything, and if that's what you are going to prejudge a manager on, because obviously it doesn't matter what they've done before, it depends what they do at Manchester United. Then be consistent, but a lot of people won't be consistent. They'll see Poch's name in lights, and then everybody will jump on it. Like, yeah, we've got Pochettino. Okay, that's fine, but you judged Ollie on not winning anything, so you judge Poch on not winning anything either. Like I said, I do think he's a fantastic manager though, and I think he did take Spurs to good places.
I think Spurs were wrong to sack him when they did, to be honest. I felt a bit sorry for him, but I agree he hasn't won anything. I mean, a manager I just want to touch on now, and I'm talking about the league as it is. It's an interesting bet to put on, actually. But Everton to win the league this season under Ancelotti, the signings that he's made, the way that they're playing there, that's how you back a manager, isn't it? But come the start of the season, I was not expecting Everton to be where they are. But I've got to be honest, they're probably the best team to watch in the league right now. Would you agree with that, Emma?
Yeah, like I said on my channel before the season started, I said, you know what, Everton's going to be the one to watch out for. I said, they're going to get in a top six. You know, they are something to watch out for. And look what's happened. They are on fire at the moment. So, you know what, hands up to them. They're doing fantastic.
James signing of the season, by the way. He's
that earlier.
Yeah. He's so far, he's played so well. He seems to just slotted in Everton so well. They're getting the best out of him. And if you're a Real Madrid fan, or you'd be looking at that thinking, well, how have he got them to play so well? Like, he didn't really light up anywhere else. Like, I think he's lit up Everton so quickly. How many games into the season? He's really shining there.
I said about James Rodriguez, I was really interested by it because he lit up the World Cup, but since that no move has really suited him. He hasn't been amazing, and I felt like it was the World Cup his peak. But then I've got to be honest, he's proven me completely wrong, and he's been a breath of fresh air. I love watching him. A great player. So he scored a few goals. He scored two pretty much identical goals at the weekend as well. But just such a classy player, such an exciting player. Tom, thank you for the super chat. He said, it doesn't matter what manager you get, he won't be backed and he will be gone in 18 months. It's a horrible circle that starts at the top. Exactly my words, which is why I'm not going to say Ollie out. I feel completely for Ollie. And like I say, not having footballer brains ahead, it ruins us. And that's what's happened in the transfer window, hence why we are panicking now. But it's just when you see rivals like Chelsea, I mentioned, like Arsenal, securing their targets, it's just heartbreaking as a United fan at the moment. It really is. And then obviously losing so badly yesterday as well just rubs salt into the wounds even more. But Adam, thank you so much again for the super chat. Ollie needs to be ruthless like Sir Alex was. Get Van der Beek in, drop Pogba, get Mengi or Boy in and Axel in, drop Maguire and Lindelof. I do agree. I think what I would like to see in our next game is the fact that we rotate some players, we drop some players. Ollie actually shows a bit of guile and a bit of balls and thinks, you know what, these players don't deserve to start right now for Manchester United. They need to earn their way back in. I've always said there's a mentality thing at us, at United. I've always said that. they've failed several managers, the same core of players. I feel like when players get comfortable, we see their performances immediately drop. After a new manager's been in, they get comfortable again, the standard drops, and I genuinely think that's what happens. So I would like to see Ollie freshen it up. And I really stick with Meg. Do you think that he'll do that in our next game? Will Ollie freshen up the lineup?
Yes, I think he will freshen it up. I don't know what the changes will exactly be, and like I said, I think Van der Beek will start. Definitely, I think he'll put him in there somewhere. But I think we will see different faces in that lineup. Just that James comment with the Lukaku at Inter as well. Is that on the screen? Was that just on the screen, Safe?
It was. Let me try and find it for you.
James at Everton, his level. Well, their level at the moment is top of the league. So he's looking good. He's looking good in the team that's sitting top of the league. So
I'm looking forward to seeing the Mersey. For once, I'm looking forward to seeing the Merseyside derby this season because I think it's going to be a lot closer than it has been. And that's only 2 weeks' time, is it, or something like that? I'm looking forward to that, definitely. Confirmation that Fabrizio on his Here We Go podcast has said that the deal with Ousmane Dembele is off. So it looks like another one bites the dust. Is it time for Sarr now? Because we inquired about him. Yeah, next on the list. Let's scroll through Twitter and see who we link with next. Let's approach them, shall we? That's what it feels like.
A Guardian.
Meg, you're lagging a little bit. She's frozen. She's like giving me the evil eye. I thought she was just really angry about the fact that you said Dembele was off.
Oh no, she's gone.
Bless her. She'll be back.
She'll be back.
I mean, if you look at the outgoings, Dalot, Smalling, obviously, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but he's very close to going. Pereira and Chong. We've got rid of some deadwood. That's one thing I will say. We've got rid of some deadwood. But the quality coming in is what concerns me. We've got, obviously, Pellistri, I think, who's Forlan recommended to us. And then we've got Ahmad Traore. But they're two future prospects. We need players in the current, players in the now. And it looks to me, obviously, you said Martial's going to be banned for 3 games. So it looks like Cavani's going to be straight in the starting lineup as well. I'm interested to see how that one goes. Is it Newcastle we've got up next?
Yeah, I've got Newcastle next.
Haven't had a bad start to the season as well, to be fair. Made some decent signings with Wilson. Fraser coming in as well. They've made a few decent signings. No game this season is going to be an easy game. That's one thing I can definitely say. We saw what Villa did to Liverpool yesterday. What a freak result that was, by the way. But
insane.
No, we can't say any team is a rollover. And that's why I fear for the signings that we've made. And I fear for the lack of character, the lack of leadership in this United team right now. If we do not sign a centre-back, and I'm going to ask this question to both of you, if we do not sign a centre-back in the next few hours, realistically, do you think we'll get Champions League next season? And I'll start with you, Emma.
No. 100% no. 3 games and we've leaked how many goals? What is it, 11? 11 goals in 3 games. Our back line is so poor, it needs strengthening. Yes, we've got a left-back now. We need to strengthen our centre-backs. Like I said a minute ago, we definitely need 2 centre-backs, for Christ's sake. We are not going to get Champions League football with that back line. Ollie needs to be ruthless. He needs to drop Maguire. He's had such a poor performance. He doesn't demand his back line. I would get Mengi in. I keep banging on about Mengi. Yes, he's young, but I think that he would do a fantastic job at centre-back. We definitely need to bring someone in as a centre-back. Who? I don't know. Is it going to be done this window? Doubtful. I really don't think that we'll pull off a centre-back today. In these last few hours.
We won't pull off a centre-back today, Emma.
You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous right now. And I just can't see us getting anything. I'm so frustrated.
So frustrated, definitely. But life goes on. They're still going to wake up tomorrow and be on their massive wage patch. We're still going to have to wake up and go to work. It's one of them minutes. I think you have to just remember that no matter how much we moan, how much we shout, until something changes at the top, nothing is going to change, is it? We have to be honest about it. Doug, thank you again for the super sticker. Says, is it likely there'll be more free results? I think without the fans there, definitely. Do you two girls agree with that? I think having the fans not there, away games, doesn't give the away teams.
Do you know what? Yesterday, when watching the Villa game, that's the game that you wish your fans could have been at. And I did feel like I've got a lot of Villa fans who are friends, and they were all going mad. The group chat for the girls' football, there's a few Villa fans in there. There's also a few the gaffer's a Liverpool fan, so that was an interesting one. But it's one of them games where you wish your fans had been there. I think Doug would probably have loved to have been not loved to have been there, but when you win the league, that Doug would have loved to have been at that game. And then there are moments that you wish you could go to. I think when you've got the fans back in the ground, you get that atmosphere. Sometimes a bit tension, sometimes can go onto the pitch, be a bit more cagey. Mm-hmm. When there's no fans there, you can go for it. No one gets on your back.
Yeah, another player I want to discuss as well is Calvert-Lewin. I saw Matthew just mention his name there. I said at the start of this season, I even put him in my fantasy team at first, and I said he's going to be one to watch because last season, obviously, bagged, especially towards the end of the season, he's bagging goals. He bullied our centre backs, I think, if we're totally honest, against us. I think he's such a handful to play against, but he's added goals to his game. And he just keeps getting better and better. We mentioned, obviously, James coming into the team, Alan coming into the team, Doucouré coming into the team. They've got so much quality now in that midfield for Everton. And he's just reaping the benefits from it now. He's getting so much service and he's just bagging week in, week out. Yeah. Is he one that could possibly get the Golden Boot this season? I mean, the way that he's going at the moment.
I mean, it's possible, isn't it? I said weeks ago on the channel that I would take him. You know, he's a player, before we had Cavani, he's a player that we need. He scores lots of goals with his head. He's a poacher. I mean, why not? And then you see his performance lately and you're like, why have we not got this? And it's just upsetting, isn't it? You're watching these other teams just do really well, they've got the business done, and we're just little old Manchester United just sat here what's going on? And we're just deflated and just feeling horrible.
We do. I just want to read this. This is I think it was on Instagram, and apparently it's from Sergio Romero's wife. And she said, Sergio Romero worked hard for his club. Last trophy they won, they lifted it with him. He helped the team reach 4 finals, semi-finals, and then he was left on the bench only to lose them all. It is time for them to return the opportunity and let him go. Respect for once. And that's from his wife. What's your thoughts on that statement, girls?
I think fair play.
Fair play to her, yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, he's third choice now. He's third, are you really going to settle for third choice? You're not playing the cup games. Henderson's playing them. Henderson's a fan favourite. De Gea is number 1. Your third choice. You're not. Romero's not going to get a look in. Do I think he's a quality second choice goalkeeper? Yes. Is he just a genuine good first choice goalkeeper? Yes. Do I think he probably deserves to go and get first team football somewhere? Definitely.
Well, he was linked to Aston Villa, and obviously we couldn't agree a fee or whatever happened, and then they just swooped in and took Martinez, a very good keeper from Arsenal. Yeah. So obviously he must be feeling pissed off, thinking he had a first team move lined up, and then obviously for whatever reason the clubs didn't agree, and now he's feeling, well, when is he going to play next? That must be what he's thinking. His
contract runs out, doesn't it, at the end of next year as well?
Yeah.
If we are all about money, then sell him.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Pay his wages for the next year and let him sit on the bench?
Yeah,
well, exactly. On the bench. He's not even sitting on the bench, is he?
And to be fair, I've always questioned whether he was just happy just to be a second string keeper. Whenever he was called upon, like you say, never really did anything wrong. I thought he was really impressive. But then when you see that post from his wife, it makes you question, actually, no, he wanted to play. I always thought maybe he's just happy to settle for second, knowing that De Gea's in front of him, seeing the way De Gea was playing. Yeah, but obviously not.
As well, but after hearing that, then it makes you question.
Yeah, it does, definitely. Beatbox Ray says, Sophie said Deadwood, but Chris Smalling is our best centre-back, was solid in 17-18. That was Mike Smalling, by the way. Mike Smalling was solid then. Arguably Maguire, less wage for the Glazers. No, I've said all along, I completely agreed with Ricky on this one. And I literally just spoke to Flex about this as well. I saw Flex tweeted something similar. Right now, the way that we're playing, are you telling me Chris Smalling is any worse than Harry Maguire? Chris Smalling is any worse than Eric Bailly? Chris Smalling is any worse than Lindelof right now? Chris Smalling, well, we know he's better than Phil Jones, let's be honest. But Tuanzebe, we need him to stay fit. And then Flex said Mendy's are part of the conversation. And I said, why is he not? The way that our centre-backs are performing, why not promote him? Why not give him a chance? But I agree, Smalling, don't get me wrong, with the ball at his feet. I mean, we've all seen the clip of him putting it into Rose's head. I don't know what that pass was, but his passing wasn't the best. But defensively, the way that we are defending right now, and for me, this is not praising Chris Smalling or anything like that. This is just showing what a shit show of a defence we've got right now. This is just showing that how poor the level of player we have got right now. That Chris Smalling, for me, is still one of the best ones. And that is me genuine. And people will think I'm being deluded and whatnot. But right now, the way that we are playing defensively, telling me Chris Smalling wouldn't be with a chance of starting, of course he would.
I agree with you completely. He would be in a chance, being with a shot of starting, definitely.
You would. And of course, I agree. Like, we need to get players out, we need to earn money. But if we're not going to sign another centre back, I'm massively worried.
Yeah.
That defending yesterday for me was shambolic, like Sunday League defending. And I'm not exaggerating that. Like, he was absolutely atrocious. Like, simple mistakes.
Yeah.
Nothing. Spurs pressed as well, but it was simple mistakes. Shocking. You can't even comprehend what happened. Like, I refuse to watch the game back because I can't do that to myself. It's still in my head, flashing over like how poor we were defensively. But we have been defensively for a few games now. And yeah.
So Billy Red just put Smalling can defend, but he cannot play football. But the principle of yesterday, there was no defending. We were so bad at defending. The first thing you do as a defender is defend.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. At the moment, Jones is better than Maguire and he's injured. Probably faster as well, to be fair. No, I think... Maguire, I think he had that going on in Greece, of course. I don't think that's helped the whole situation. He hasn't started this season well. Ollie has to take some of the blame as well. Yes, he gave him captaincy. Questionable. I don't think he should have. But he gave him captaincy. That's on Ollie. And he still continued, like he did with Rashford. I saw someone mention Rashford earlier. When Rashford wasn't playing well, he kept playing him. For me, that's where you take the player out to the limelight a little bit. You let someone else have a run, and then you try and give them the motivation to work their way back in. That's the way that it should be. Because of the lack of quality on the bench that we have, Ollie wasn't really able to do that with Rashford. But with Maguire, for me, why not play Lindelof and Poye?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just drop him. Because whether it's because what happened in Greece, but for whatever reason, he hasn't started this season well. But to keep playing him, for me, that's not going to help as well. Not in the current mindset that he's in.
He's just going to think that he can just play how he wants and he's still going to get played. I
feel now like he's going to make a mistake any second.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So I bet that's going through his head as well. Like, when he's playing, like, he's shitting himself thinking, no, I'm going to make a mistake. And I'm not saying Maguire can't come back into the team, but at this moment in time, I do think it's time that he needs to be dropped. I genuinely do. And I don't think the captaincy is right for him. And Bruno obviously is the name that's been uttered. And I think Bruno possibly should be, definitely. Alex Marmon, thank you for the super chat. He says the fact that we can't sell players is also a joke. Again, it just highlights the lack of quality that we have in our squad, doesn't it? Just highlights the lack of quality that we've got. It really does. And like I say, that's not me bigging up Chris Smalling. We should be doing better than Chris Smalling. But it's me saying that right now, Smalling would get into that defence. He's
on par with everyone else, isn't he? So
yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, guys, we're going to round up this show. It's been a really interesting one. I'm praying, I'm hoping that we have some more positive news after we've done here that we can comment on later. We're not going to say the S word because we're all tired of it. But I'm hoping we get some positive news and something that we can actually look forward to. Because at the moment, I think it all just feels a bit downbeat. Definitely, we've got an international break coming up as well, which I think you can look at it both ways. A lot of people say it's the worst possible time. Could also be the best possible time to. Because I watching Manchester United at the moment, after yesterday, I still feel a bit frustrated. We've got a bit of time off it. The players have got a bit of time off it to get their heads around it and bounce back stronger. So I think it could be a good thing. But guys, fingers crossed. Keep praying that something positive is going to happen. As usual, my guests have been absolutely fantastic. I'm going to say thanks to you, Emma, first. And if you could let people know where they can follow you as well.
You can find me on my own YouTube channel here, That United Family. And you can also find me on Twitter, EmmaEdgar_. Yep.
Go and follow there. Definitely some amazing content. I think you're live later on, you said, didn't you, Em?
8:30 going live,
8:30. Yeah. So go and check that out, definitely. Meg, as usual, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. If you let people know where they can find you as well.
You can find me here and on hairdryer treatment on Ladies in Red, and we've got some more shows coming up this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Really excited. Hopefully, like I said, we'll have some more positives to talk about. But until then, guys, keep smiling. Stay positive. We will get through this. The transfer window is nearly over, so we can actually finally get it out of the way and focus on the football. But of course, we want to see an improvement on the pitch, and hopefully we'll get that But until then, guys, keep smiling. We'll see you very, very soon. Hit that sub button. Hit the like as well if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed the content. And of course, if you've missed you in the chat, we don't do it on purpose. It's been very busy tonight. Just drop a comment afterwards and we'll definitely check it out.